Hello, my friend. I want to explain about my software. That name is Granes. This software uses for golden maker. That, for example, some person want to give mass of the gold before mm, they make it with a laser machine, fiber laser machine, and they can know what's the mass of the this necklace or another material. Uh, I explained that for you. See this? This is my software. At the first of that, this is area. For example, I open the Corel Draw X7. Wait for loading that. This software coding by C Sharp, Visual Studio, and I buy many of this in Iran, and I want to use this in many of country in the world. Okay, I draw a rectangle, and I use of this scroll on 60, and I click on this button, and that means computing. When I click on this show me 18 gram. This is my unit, and perhaps you say to yourself, what's this gram? What's this high? Or how many I compute this rectangle? I explain that for you. Here I have an area of that. For example, you see this is 48 for wide and 42 for high. Okay, now I change it. For example, 20 and rate is 20. And now I compute that 3.6 gram. Okay, this is my high of surface of the gold or silver or another material. Um, for example, we want to laser and cutting the surfaces of gold, and I designed that in Corel Draw, and I want to know how many mass of this piece. See this? Here I have a setting. At the first of that, it's unit, millimeter, and micrometer, and we say in Iran this dar, but in another units it means, for example, every 1 millimeter 100 dar. Okay. For example, when we want to cutting the surfaces of 1 millimeter, the height of the surface, we said dare set, and it's usual between gold makers in Iran. At the next of that, I have this radio button, and we said that high interval, and I explained that for you. It's not using for laser machine. At the end of that, at the next of that, we set this high interval, and for these, for example, for fiber machine, we cutting this 40 means در 40 till در 100, and you can see that at the first of this 40 and at the end of this 100. It's setting of this screw, and with fiber 30 watt, we can cutting 20 till 100, and we use just this setting for this. At the next, I explained it at the end. It's a very important option. I close this. When I open this text box explain about price of unit. In Iran, this uses real or tuman unit of the price. For example, gold in a gram now in Iran this real. For example, when you want to buy 1 gram of the gold in Iran, you should pay this money in a real unit to buy that. At the next, I have wage. For example, you want to make a necklace for a person, and when you make that, you get the money of gold and get money of your wage. For example, you can computing that in real or for example dollar or another unit prices. For example, I for 40,000. Now you can see after fill this text box, you can see that in your rectangle, now this is a square, not a rectangle, you can see your prices. For example, this 4.26 in 71 high, and with darb, not millimeter. In millimeter, this means 0.71, and this is our prices. I check this. You can see these prices. Okay. For example, you want to use your wage in percentage and use 5%. After this, you can computing that with percent. With this preview, you can see how many real or dollar or and so on compute for your order. Can you see? Okay, I go to next of that. This is tax. In tax, you can use percent. In Iran, use 9%, and it's added to your amount at the end of the amount of your order. Okay, it's at the end. Here you can add your you can show your material. For example, I have here tala, in English this means gold, and nogre in English this means silver. For example, you want to use another silver, for example, aluminium, and so on. When you want to use that, you just use this setting and you can add you say this name and use density of that. For example, this. For example, it's just simple, and submit that. You can see aluminium with that. Okay. Now I go to next option. We set this polish deficit. This after you make your gold and after you make your gold, your necklace or plug and so on, you should polish that. When you polish that, way of the end of your piece lower that real. For example, you use of 1 gram gold and you make surface and cutting that, but when you polish that 0.02 gold, a part of this going with polish, but when you want to computing your mass for your clients or another person that they want to buy this necklace of you, you should say after should say the price of after this black polish. For example, here I check this and to value I can type in that. First of that, in Iran says sot. Sot means every, for example, see here, every 1000 sot means 1 gram. Here, and when I polish my surface, it always usual take it, for example 0.20 point, but here you can't use the point because this is salt. Salt, for example 200 means here 200 salt means 0.2 gram. Okay. So I type here this and I close this. For example, now you can see this for this square gram 4.26, and now it should minus 0.2. For and now it should make to 4.06. You can see that it make that. And now we have the percent that, for example, 2%, and now it minus 2% of all of that. You can see all of the setting that I used in these options. You can see here, and you can disable all of that, and you can enable some of that, and you can see how many uses, but it's are in Persian language, but we can translate that for you. Now at the end of these options, here you can see history of your getting mass of the software. For example, at this history, this history is Shamsi. We use this story in Iran and not with your history, and this weight and this high and this price. For example, I used in here at the last of that. I can clear all of this log. When you click, all of this log is clear. And here now I want to explain about this. This means correct factor. And for example, now when you want a piece of the gold to make surface, we have a big machine. You import your piece of the gold, and at the end of that, this machine gives you a piece of the surface of gold, and you can cutting your plug or necklace on that with fiber laser. And after many days, when you have this machine, and this machine you import your piece of the gold to that, and after that, for output of this function, you have a surface, but you have a wave on that. It's not soft. This wave is very little, but in your mass this important. And now for this problem, we want to fix it, and we use this part. And see, when you before using this part, you compute this square, and it said 4.26. And you cut it for the first of the using of the software. You cut it, and you use of the balance of this mass, and you see it's 4.16. For example, you have 100 sowed minus. Now you type, you check here and type 4.16 first weight and second weight. First weight software get you to you, and you use of the balance, and you see this 4.16, and you type 16 here, and you close this, and now computing. You can see the software says to you 4.16. For example, if you want to use this function for all of your shape, you can. And after this, when you use, for example, this shape and computing, you have this number, and if you disable you have this number. It helps to you for giving correct way, and we want to you making your gold very better of the before. And now you can see our website, our Telegram software, our phone number of Iran, and mailbox. Uh, the work of our country is graphic, and we draw vector for the gold makers, for necklace and many of the things. You can see some of our drawing here and here and here. It's verse of the Persian, and here we can draw these, and we want to you help us to sell our software. And for example, many of the people in the world want to graphist. Our company can, and my employer can help you for this. This is first of the software of our company, and we have many soft of them. For example, we have this soft for receive picture of the gold makers, and they can send that to us for designing, for drawing their vector, for using in laser machine. And I happy to speaking with you, and I'm waiting for calling you with me. I'm Morteza Jahani and software engineer. Thank you.